Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to GrizzlyBearSims YouTube channel and welcome back to another GrizzlyBearSims Courseplay tutorial. Thank you so very much for coming back for another video. Yes, we're on our Lone Star map here and I just wanted to show you how to do one little task that I typically will do on maps where I have irregular shaped fields that might cause me a little bit of problem if I want to try to fully automate a task or a job on a farm. Now this might be doing something to an existing field, or it might even be creating a courseplay perimeter around, say, a non-defined field. An example of that might be an area where there is a lot of grass that has been planted, but that field has not been assigned a field number or defined as a field by the mod author or the map author. So for this particular tutorial, I just want to show you how I like to redefine the perimeter of a field. Now, you may be familiar with the fact that when you install Courseplay or you open or start a brand new map with Courseplay active, at the very beginning, the first time that the map loads and Courseplay is detected as being active, Courseplay will prompt and ask you if you want to scan all the fields. What it's doing is it's using all the logic and everything that's built into the map itself, and it's essentially scanning the perimeter of the fields. And so if we go over here and we go into, say, fieldwork mode, and we pull up field number 2 and we take a look at it with the little eyeball here, we'll see that it's predetermined and it's more or less predefined as far as the perimeter of the field. Okay, so this is perfectly fine. This works really great with fields like on Pineco Farm, where your fields are mostly square or rectangular, and you have lots of clearly defined edges away from fences and trees and such as that. Now here on Lone Star, with this particular field in particular, and let me just get rid of that and we'll go back to the mode that I'm going to be using here, which is, it really doesn't matter what mode you use. I just like to use this mode here. We're going to redefine this field. We're going to redefine the perimeter of this field. So if we look at this field on the large map here, field number 2, right down here, you'll notice that it has a dogleg right to it. Now if you're a golfer, you're familiar with what that term means. But for us here in Farm Sim, and especially using Courseplay, this little dogleg right can cause some problems, especially in trying to fully automate it where our vehicles don't create this crossing path that sends the tractors across this area here where there could be obstacles. And actually we do have obstacles in this area. We've got fences and we've got a house down here and so on and so forth. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to redefine the perimeter of field number 2 and basically create it into a rectangular field by basically just cutting this portion of the smaller field, the dogleg right, off. So basically we just want to kind of come in and cut this thing right across here, form it like a straight line, form this as a rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the big map. I'll pull up the small map, doesn't really matter. And I've got my tractor set here on the edge of field number 2. And for ease of use, just to make sure that we keep things straight and narrow, because we like to do things straight. We want our perimeter to be straight. I'm going to bring up GPS. I'm going to position my GPS course, and I'm going to have to modify it a couple of times because I'm going to want as straight lines all the way around this field as possible. So I like to just kind of bring it over just a little bit to the left, just a little bit. It's okay. I mean, we're not going to have a whole lot of loss here from just this edge here. And as a matter of fact, I could even scoot that over just a little bit more, and that will be just fine. So let's go ahead, and I want to show you one other thing. Now, depending on the tractor, where Courseplay is going to start on this Challenger, which happens to probably be my favorite tractor in the game. It is a mod, by the way, and you can get the download for this by visiting my mod spreadsheet, and that's at GrizzlyBearSims.com. But we noticed that on this particular tractor, if we basically start the course recording, we'll notice that it positions our little start sign at sort of the rear of the tractor, which this is just something that we need to know. It's no big deal, but that is where it will begin. So I've got my tractor positioned again just a little bit forward of the line that's going across towards the north. Okay, so we can just go ahead and kill that right there, and we will just delete that, because all we were really doing was just trying to define where our GPS marker was, and it's right on the edge of this cab here. Okay, so I'm going to come back around here, and I'm going to line my camera up where I can see really well. I'm going to go ahead and start the tractor up, and I'm going to go ahead and engage the GPS, and then I want to start my course recording. Okay, and then we are going to just drive through our course just like so. I've got the tractor locked into GPS, so it's going to follow the straight line right down the edge of the field here. And we're going to let it complete all the way down to the edge of the field, basically drawing the perimeter and essentially cutting off the portion of this field down here to the right. Now don't worry, we're not going to waste this land by any means. We'll figure out something to plant down here, and of course we can create a perimeter around that as well and define that as a field. So as I pull up to here, I'm going to be very careful here. I want to pull my camera around, and I'm basically going to pull the tractor up to where it's about right there. Okay, and I'm going to pause our course. I need to lock myself, get myself out of GPS. I need to bring my camera around here where I can kind of see what I'm doing. And I need to go ahead and bring my tractor around like this. Now we don't have to necessarily be perfect about getting lined up here. We just want to be just on the correct side of our line there. So basically we just want to be, about right there is fine. And we will go ahead and cause our GPS course to come around like this. And if I pull forward just a little bit, it'll give us our line. We'll lock ourselves into GPS, and then we're going to basically unpause our course, and we're going to follow across this way into the edge of the field here. And we're going to come about right there. I'm going to bring our camera around again where we can kind of look, and I'm going to pause our course. I'm going to take us off GPS. I need to bring the camera back around again, and then I'm going to swing my tractor around just like so, and I'm going to once again get sort of lined up here. I'm going to swing my course back around. I'm going to slide my course over, and it doesn't matter about working width or dimensions or anything like that. We're just basically using GPS to give us a straight line down the edge of the field. That is good right there. I'm going to back up a little bit, and then I'm going to pull forward. I'm going to lock our GPS in. I'm going to once again kind of make sure that I am on the other side of that course. We'll back up just a little bit here. It doesn't have to be super perfect. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and so that's just kind of who I am. So anyway, we're going to unpause it, and once again we're going to kind of tear off down towards our edge of our field here. We'll get in cab so that the trees don't drive us crazy. There goes our ducks or our geese or whatever they are there here on Lone Star. And we're just kind of coming along. We're not going to worry about the 12 inches or 15 inches or so of the field that is going to be on the outside of the perimeter. We're not worried about that at all, because again, the yield's not going to be that much of a deal. Trust me, our headaches will be far less because we're doing this this way. We're going to pull up just about right there. We're going to once again pause. Now, I know that there's some folks that may talk about the fact that you don't have to necessarily do all four edges of your field, and that is true. However, if we were to end it, if we were basically to end the field with just three sides defined, it would mean that we would have to do our courses in the direction our tractor is pointing, so up and down. So basically north and south, and basically the longest edge of our field is running east to west, so we want to go ahead and define the perimeter all the way around. We're going to come back around here and we're going to reset our course. That'll give us going that way. We're going to bring our field in just a smidge like that, and it'll be close enough, I think, for probably government work, my favorite saying. We're going to back up just a little bit. Again, we don't have to be super perfect, and we're going to go ahead and lock into our GPS, and we're going to unpause, and we're going to proceed back down towards our starting point. And again, it's probably not going to be perfect. It would be nice if we could have some kind of visual representation where we could maybe manipulate our course just a little bit. Maybe that is something that we will have for the future. And we want to just come up about right there. We don't have to come up correctly underneath our starting point. That's close enough again for government work. And we are going to go ahead and end our course. Okay, so there is our perimeter. We have a perimeter that runs around the interior or the exterior, or actually the interior of this field, the way that we want it to be shaped. We can go ahead and name this course. I would name it something that you will be able to identify with, because you will need to pull this course up with all of your vehicles that you want to have that's going to run with this modified course. Because if you don't do that, it's going to use the default course that that Courseplay has already defined. And so for the sake of this demonstration, I've already created a course. It's called Field 2 New Boundary, and so that's what that's going to be called. I can go ahead and just exit out of this, exit out of this. We can turn off our GPS. We can move this tractor here out of the way because we're essentially done with it, and we can turn it off. Now we will just tab over and we will get into this tractor. This is our case, our big case tractor pulling a cultivator, trying to get that out there. And so what we want to do here is we have this course already recorded. It's called Field 2 New Boundary. Okay, now I'm going to be in the fieldwork mode because we're basically going to be cultivating this field. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and bring up Field 2 Boundary, just like this. Now when we come over and we look at our course generation tab, we want to make sure that it's set for currently loaded course. If we were to change this to field number 2, then guess what? It's going to incorporate the dogleg right into the perimeter. We don't want that, so we want to go back to currently loaded course. Our working width is 14.5 meters. We know that. Our starting corner, we're going to do the north. We're going to do the northwest, and we're going to go east. So that's going to basically take us across this direction here. We're going to give ourselves 2 headlands that we're going to do first or last. It doesn't really matter. I think in the example that we're going to be doing in episode number 2, we're going to go ahead and do that the first time, the headland the first time around. So we've got that there. We can go ahead and look at our course, and we can go ahead and pull that up, and that is what things look like, ladies and gentlemen, with our newly defined course. We've completely eliminated the dogleg right of the course. Courseplay will operate in this field very, very fine. It will not get into any problems or any troubles with trying to cut across and hit the house or the fences or anything down there. It's just basically treating this field as if it's a nice rectangular field, something similar to what we might have had on Pine Cove Farm or some of those other maps that are a little more traditional square fields and such. Now, I will just go ahead and say that there are other reasons that you might want to follow these procedures. So if we go back to our Challenger here, now of course we have planted on this field. We took field number 1 and we planted that with grass in the first episode. But let's say, for example, here we have this nice grass meadow here. Now, of course, there's a difference between regular giant's grass and grass that is planted, and of course you all know the differences of what those are. Basically, we don't get as much yield out of the giant's grass. We can't fertilize it, and we can't reap the benefits of that. But if we wanted to, we could basically set up a perimeter around this field. And just sort of looking at it, I would probably say that we would sort of back up and we would go to this corner over here so that we could take advantage of the edge along the road, because it does sort of turn. And what I would do here is I would probably come back like this, keeping in mind that we've got that fence row right there. And I would probably start this perimeter of this course. We'll come over here, we get right there, we do this. I'll bring up GPS here just for the sake of this example, and we will rotate, grab a new course that'll bring this along. That looks pretty good. We'll just shove this over just a little bit. And again, with grass, it doesn't really matter because we can cut right up to the edge of the road there. And we will go ahead and back up so that we can get on our GPS course. And we will come up, and again, I need to spin the camera around just a little bit because I want to I don't want that fence row to come into become a problem for us. And then I'll spin the camera around, and we're locked into our course. We're going to go ahead and do our start course recording. And just like we did with the other course that we did around the perimeter, we're going to just record and define, not defined, but define our perimeter here. So that's looking pretty good right about there, I would say. So we will pause it. We can take ourselves off of GPS. We'll back up here. And I can't back very well if I'm not looking at the back of the tractor. And then kind of come up, swing around here, get back on our target line. We can bring up GPS and go ahead and select a new course, and that'll get us lined up here. And we can move our course over a smidge. That's pretty good right there. We'll stay out. I think there's a tree down there that might be in the way, so we'll bring our course over just a little bit, and again kind of back up and get on our course here, and then unpause, and then run down the perimeter edge of this field. And again, we're just going to make a square. We're going to go all the way around and define the entire perimeter that way, in case there's other things that we want to do with this particular field. At some stage we'll have everything defined. Who knows, we might want to turn this into a field or something someday and actually plant something here. And so we would be able to do that because we have the perimeter fully defined. And we'll just come out here where I can kind of see things. We'll get lined up as best as possible here, and we will go ahead and rotate our course around again. And let's see, that's probably pretty good for what we're going to do here. We'll lock our GPS in. We will unpause our course generation process or our course recording. We'll head on down this way here and come up to our fence. Okay, that's pretty good right there. We will go ahead and pause. And again, take ourselves off GPS. GPS is certainly optional in this if you do pretty well at driving in a straight line, or if you're just really not that bothered with having crooked perimeters, then basically don't worry about using GPS. But if you are sort of like me and you would rather have things nice and straight because, well, you think that might be in our best interest, and I basically need to move our tractor over just a little bit so that we can take advantage of this straighter line here. We're right about there. Lock our GPS in. We will go ahead and unpause. We will go ahead and unpause and then go ahead and head on down and basically complete this course right before the starting point. And I would say that's pretty darn close. I don't think I could have done that any better. And we will come right on up here and stop. Again, it doesn't have to be right underneath it. We will go ahead and stop it. And we're going to actually name this one because I haven't done this course yet. We're just going to, we will name this, let's see, we will name this Grass Meadow. And of course, if there was more than one, you might want to name it northwest or northeast or grass meadow number 1 or whatever, and of course sort of make notes. I will name it grass meadow number 1. I actually have a printout of the map, and I will make sure that I do that. So if we were here, and basically if we wanted to mow this, which most likely is what we're going to do with this field here, we would go into our basically our field work mode, which is what we would use to mow. We're going to come to our course generation. We're going to go, actually we need to come back over here. We are in grass meadow number 1. Let me make sure that I don't have more than one course selected. So we're in grass meadow number 1. There we go. Come back over here. We want to do currently loaded course. We would set up our working width of our mowers. We'd set our starting corner, our starting direction, and basically everything would be fine. So let's just say, for example, we're using a 4 meter mower. We are going to do, let me bring up the big map here. We're going to do north, we're going to do northwest going south like that, no headlands, and generate our course. We'll take a look at our course, and there we go. There's our mowing course, taking advantage of our perimeter on the inside of our grass meadow. So that's how that's done. Pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy if you ask me. That's probably something you haven't ever heard me say before. I hope that this has helped you. I hope that all of these Courseplay tutorials are educational for you. I am fully well aware that there's a lot of different Courseplay tutorials for FS15, FS17 out there on YouTube. And we all do things a little bit differently. We all have a different style. We all have a different way of accomplishing it. And quite honestly, with Courseplay, there are many different ways that you can use Courseplay to accomplish the exact same task. So, if I teach you something, you might go and you might watch somebody else's video, and the end result might be the exact same, but they teach you a different way. So, look all this stuff up. If you have questions, feel free to post your questions down below the video. You may also find me over at 3 Dudes Gaming Network, or PCSG, and or just use my email address, GrizzlyBearSims@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate you guys watching my videos and liking them, subscribing, and interacting with me. I love that. I know this video has gone a little bit long, but I wanted to cover 2 different steps because they are somewhat linked. It's essentially the same thing, the same principle, the same steps, but of course it's two different kind of tasks that we accomplished with this tutorial. So thank you so much for watching. Please tune again for my Let's Plays or my mod reviews or even more Courseplay tutorials. Thank you for watching. My name is Jerry, GrizzlyBearSims. God bless you all. Bye-bye.